They've won Tonys and Oscars and Emmys and Grammys. There's no red carpet cause they're home in their jammies. From Melrose Place to Broadway to Janeway and her crew. Let Seth and James bring all the stars to you.
Anywho.
They're entertaining everyone, so who's gonna grouse? Just sit right back and you'll hear some tales on Stars in the House.
Seth, do you want to explain what just happened?
Did that Bluetooth thing happen again?
Okay. So when Seth wasn't doing the show last weekend and the weekend before, David would just run the opening, and he would hit live and then he'd run the opening. I'm like, cool, that's great. And then it's on when it's on. We're going to explain why we're wearing these and why we're in different locations in just a minute. But I have to bust Seth a little bit. But Seth likes to push the button that lets the theme song come on, right? So Seth very nicely asked David, he said, I'm going to do it the way that I like to do it, which is starting it. Well, Seth, because we don't have Wi-Fi at our new apartment, it basically, people were like, it's a good thing I wasn't like picking my nose, because it flashed to me and then you, and then a little bit of the theme song came on. So you're busted.
Oh, that's so weird. On my end, it just played all the way through.
We'll have to go back and watch the tape. Anyway, hello, everyone. Welcome to Stars in the House. I'm James Wesley. That's my husband, Seth Rudetsky, at our new apartment. But I'm not going to name the cable company, but let's just say we were supposed to have internet yesterday, and we're hopefully going to have it tomorrow. So I came up to Andrea Martin's, and that's why the lighting is amazing, and I did not even have to use my ring light, because we're in Andrea Martin's apartment. Seth?
Oh, well, what am I supposed to say?
Well, listen, here's the thing. Seth is with the dogs. That's why he didn't come up here. And basically, I drew the stick, and I fought him to come up here because I've been listening to the Dogfight original cast album all day long on Spotify. And so I said, if the Wi-Fi goes, or if the hotspot that Seth is using goes out, I want to be the one. Because every time I was listening to songs, I was like writing down questions and like things I want to ask the cast and everything.
You were listening to the soundtrack from Dogfight the movie. It was just background music and hi, Lindsay. That was for you. It's just boring string sections. By the way, Seth is with the dogs. It's so not clear. It's because both of our dogs had surgery. They both tore their ACLs and they have to be on literally 24-hour bed rest, except for 3 times a day they can leave for 5 minutes. And we're too nervous that if we left them in their crates and we're both gone in a new apartment, it's our first day in the new apartment, they'd be barking and our neighbors would be like, eviction.
Yeah,
so that's why.
I drew the short stick last night by sleeping on the couch because Bagel just decided to like bark non-stop.
At like 1 a.m. I want to bring them on the bed, but I don't know, we're nervous. Like maybe we're gonna roll over and land on their ACL. I mean, we always sleep on the bed. Lindsay, stop nodding.
So
I don't like the attitude.
Well, the dogs have another month of recovery. But by the way, before we go any further on what Stars in the House is, if you may be tuning in for the first time because Dogfight is your favorite musical. You may be tuning in for the first time because you love Lindsay Mendez from All Rise. So if you want to see amazing casts in the future or one of our 400 shows from the past, and Lindsay Mendez was on one of the first 10 shows, right, Seth? She was on one of the very, very, very first shows.
Show number 3.
Wow. That's how much we love Lindsay Mendez. But you can subscribe to our YouTube channel at Stars in the House or go to our website. Thanks, David. But anyway, we're wearing these because today is Dr. LaPook's birthday. Happy birthday, Dr. LaPook, the chief medical correspondent of CBS News and Stars in the House. And so we are doing this. Happy birthday.
I just realized it's going to wake him up if I do it.
All right. Well, you can pretend.
I'm miming.
You're miming. Okay. So now these can go off.
I literally took 1 credit of mime at Oberlin. So I got skills. With a Z.
Oh.
I did. Freshman year, I took mime. I literally dropped French, which was so important. And I literally took that's what Oberlin. Yeah, I got credit for mime. I don't even know what the hell I learned. Anyway, go on.
By the way, I've, of course, in the cab coming here to Andrea's, I left my phone at home, but I spent Seth the entire a cab ride looking for my phone.
I knew you would.
I'm like, oh my God, what'd I do? But David's going to throw the donations up in the private chat because today we are so excited. We have a matching grant. Thank you, David, from the Angie Torres Charitable Trust. $2,500. Come on, people. You've got to donate because the Actors Fund, Broadway is reopening for the second and third show tomorrow because Passover already opened. And
the musicals are open. Let's be honest. Broadway's musicals. Broadway opens tomorrow. That's offensive. But come on. It's about musicals, and they're starting tomorrow. I can't keep apologizing.
Hadestown and Waitress are starting tomorrow. And tomorrow, by the way, we have the original Jenna, Jessie Mueller, along with 3 additional Jennas.
Yes, Queen.
Are going to be here tomorrow. But today we are here for the Actors Fund, as we are every day. And Lindsay Mendez, we've raised a lot more money since your very first appearance. We are up to, our new grand total is $1,061,285.
Yes, Queen.
Thank you, Stars in the House viewers, and you know what? The Angie Torres Charitable Trust really helped us get to that goal because this is not their first time to do a matching, and we love them, and they love theater, and they love the Actors Fund. So they are doing it yet again. So your match will be doubled tonight. And so the way to do that, and that's right, send it to Lindsay or Josh or Nick or Derek. We'll read your donations aloud. That's right, David. Go to starsinthehouse.com, or you can text Fund 2020 to 56512. You'll get your receipt from the Actors Fund. You can send that along with a short message to donations at starsinthehouse.com, and David will make sure that the cast members get it.
Yeah, the more donations there are, the more chance there is for some live singing. So
maybe not just one, maybe 2 songs.
Oh, I'm not warmed up. Yeah.
That's right. Seth, I forgot to tell you this.
Oh my God, I have an amazing story for you, by the way. Oh my God, I have not told you this. Give it go on.
Okay, hold on. So when I went to the grocery store, I did not bring my phone. Because you were using it because you had to use the hotspot on my phone to do SiriusXM. So I didn't have my phone. But when I came back from the store, you know who I saw? It's not anyone you know, but it's like a crazy New York story that just made it look normal and it'll make Lindsay Mendez maybe miss our area because we used to live right down the block from one another, but Philip and Lindsay aren't here. But she had to go and do TV. But on the street were literally 2 people in a canoe that took up one like full car length. And the man is sitting on one end of the canoe, the woman is sitting on the other end of the canoe, and they're just talking.
They parked their canoe on Columbus Avenue.
It was like a car, like parked, and then like a canoe, like a little bit to the side, so cars could go by it, but it was just like a canoe.
"Quote unquote," only New York?
Only in New
I
York.
tell this story, but I gotta bring Lindsay on because she appreciates me being busted. She's basically a second tier Liz Calloway in terms of hostility towards me. So
I don't know, they're kind of matched. I think they're pretty matched.
I will take second tier Liz Calloway any day. Thank you so much.
So this I know you'll appreciate.
Hi, Lindsay.
Hi, everybody.
I was trying to get the internet today from a certain company. It wasn't working. And suddenly the guy behind the counter was like, "Have I seen you on Broadway?" And I was like, "Yes." I was like, "Yes." And he's like, "Oh, no, I heard you humming, so I was just joking." I was literally like, "Oh my God, he recognizes me underneath the mask. I still got it." It was devastating.
Wait, also, what were you humming?
It was, isn't it funny? I don't even know what.
Oh my God, that is so genius.
Happy, so needy. I was like, "Yes, you have. Which appearance?" He's like,
"Oh my gosh."
Anywho.
God bless.
Hate myself.
Lindsay, you organize this thing. Do you want to be the one bringing on everyone, and then we'll pop them on?
Yes, I want to bring on these amazing men, please. Let's start with my wonderful pal and co-star, both in this and Wicked following that. He is just one of the most talented guys around and also one of the kindest. And you can see him pretty soon, I believe, in Jagged Little Pill upcoming again.
Yes.
And that is the amazing Derek Kalena.
Hey, Derek.
What's up, guys? Good to see you all. Hey, twins. How you
Nice
doing?
to see you.
So good. This is so fun.
Thanks for bringing the band back together. This is awesome.
Dude, thanks for doing this. Should I keep going, James?
Yes, Lindsay, keep going.
Yeah, Lindsay organized this, by the way. Lindsay was the den mother. Thank
I mean,
you,
by
Lindsay.
organize, you mean I sent an email.
It's probably more than other people have done for us. Trust me. Thank you.
Well, yeah,
And we greatly appreciate it, Lindsay.
these guys are the ones that showed up, and I'm so grateful.
My only question is, Derek, I've said it before, but for you, why the witness protection program? We're not supposed to know where you are, undisclosed location, what's happening?
Why do you have to bust people on what their background is?
Lindsay, I will mute you. Derek, what?
Just very, very discreet. Yeah, I don't want anybody knowing exactly where I am.
Okay, got it.
It's
Anything
so
else?
rude that you bring people on and then you make them feel bad about their background.
Lindsay, that is your signature. Continue, please.
Honestly, I was trying to find the light, and this corner had light, so that is why I'm in this industry.
There's a little bit of an echo, Derek. Maybe David, I don't know what Derek can do, but there's a little bit of an echo. But maybe, Lindsay, you keep going. By the way, I hope that the electric doesn't go out. I'm assuming it doesn't. You know, there's flash flood warning, and there's so much lightning. And by the way, Andrea Martin does not have air conditioning in her living room. And so because she's on the penthouse, she literally, like, all the windows are closed because the rain won't come in. And so I have, like, a fan. And I'm wearing
if all of a sudden you fall over, we know to call someone.
Right. And you'll just take over, Lindsay. You'll just take over as host. I'm just like,
Yeah, it's
calling
fine,
you out.
James.
Wait, what happened to me?
You'll come to eventually.
I'm a co-host.
But we're both in New York, Seth. I'm just assuming if it doesn't work out for me, it won't work out for you. Anyway, Lindsay, continue.
That's true love. Okay. I'm going to bring on another incredible gentleman who I have been friends with for a very long time and worked on a bunch of other things with as well. He is a brilliant actor and brilliant writer. And that is my amazing pal, Nick Blameyer.
Hey, Nick.
Hi guys, what's up?
Oh, see, Nick's background is fierce.
Yeah,
Lindsay,
look
that
at
is
this.
so rude to compliment his background.
Oh. Stars in the house, guys. You know.
Thank you, Nick, for respecting.
You're
Your
welcome.
lights are
You're
shining
welcome.
bright.
Hi,
Yes.
team.
Hi.
What's up, buddy?
Not much. I miss you all.
I know, seriously.
James, I don't think we've met, but I miss you
No. Hi, Nick. Oh, thank you.
too. Yeah, in Andrew's apartment most.
Yes.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Cause damn, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Okay, let me bring our last friend in, who's waiting patiently, and that is also another. I mean, I guess you guys are all old friends at this point because we're all old, but this another amazing human and brilliant actor who's currently on the HBO series The Other Two. With a bunch of our other friends. And that is the wonderful Josh Segarra. Josh! Oh, shit. Okay.
I love you guys, man. This is very cool.
We have the 3 Bs in the house. This like never happens. This is so rare.
Oh right.
What's
This
up,
is
gents?
major.
Let's try to sing in harmony on StreamYard. I think.
Oh, no.
No.
It's gonna work great. It's gonna kill.
we couldn't do it in person. Let alone over StreamYard.
Fair.
Before we get started, a couple of things. One is, okay, Lindsay, okay. I know that looking at all the people that responded to your post on Instagram, I realized a couple of things. One, there are some people who only know you from All Rise and didn't know you'd sing. Other people, it's like Audra McDonald, like Private Practice. It's a compliment, right? It's like, oh, I only know her from such and such. Other people that were like, oh, I think someone said, I watch All Rise and I love Dogfight, but I didn't know it was Lindsay Mendez that was on the Dogfight album. So that was fascinating. So let's ask the All Rise question now. What is it coming back? What can you tell us? Give us an update. And then we'll move on to Dogfight.
I honestly don't know. So that's all I can say. We would love for it to come back. We'll see. Stay tuned.
But there's hope.
I know that's such a great answer. Yes.
Okay. There's, as long as there's hope, I think that you'll make people happy. If there's
I
hope.
always have hope, James.
We were here. Oh, I forgot to say, if you have, I had to say subscribe. If, who wants to read, because there's great testimonials, because we are here to have fun, and I have a lot of questions, and there's going to be live music, and we have some great clips, but we are here for the Actors Fund, and to get things going, can one of you guys, Josh, you want to go, this is basically a testimonial of someone who had received help from the Actors Fund. Go on private chat, Josh, and read it. David sent it at 8:01. It says from a client. Can you read that? This gives an idea of one of the many, many people who's been helped by the Actors Fund.
Absolutely. I want to thank you so much for the grant I received during this emergency. I'm so grateful and truly humbled to be the recipient of funds that I know are scarce and needed by so many. This money will truly make a difference in my family's ability to make it through this difficult period. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Your generosity will not be forgotten when I'm in a position to give, which I hope will be soon.
That's lovely. The number of people who have been on this show that that are so successful, like Chandra Wilson and Jimmy Smits and all these people who have received help over the years from the Actors Fund, and then then they pay back. It's one of the most touching things when you say, Seth, of doing the show is finding out everyone's stories.
It's also just so nice and equalizing that I think we just think they're successful actors and they're not. And it's like the arts are just up, down, up, down, up, down, no matter where you are. And everyone has had to reach out to the Actors Fund. A lot of people have. And it's just nice to know that it's nothing to be ashamed of. And it's also nice to know how many people the Actors Fund have helped. And what I always say about Chandra Wilson is like, what if they hadn't paid her rent? What if she'd been like, you know what? I need a steady job. And she'd quit the business. She never would have been, Dr. Bailey on Grey's Anatomy, which we're obsessed with. She could have been out of the business. So they really helped people continue that we get to then worship. Yeah.
Before, there's donations that have already come in, but I want to jump in for a question. So, you know what, Lindsay, I was realizing that I know the story of Dogfight. You guys know the story of Dogfight, but maybe not every viewer knows. Could you give a little synopsis of what oh, there you go. What is Dogfight about? That's watching. Because it's when I reread the synopsis, like just on Wikipedia, I literally got tears in my eyes and chills just from reading it. Because I didn't see the original movie, which is a question I want to ask all of you. But Lindsay, tell the story of what Dogfight is. I know.
You guys want to do it? No.
Oh, yeah. Nick's the writer.
Yeah, Nick, you're the writer. You do it.
Right.
Yeah. Tell us a tale,
You do it, Nick.
All right, Nick, you go.
The world. Okay, so it's the Vietnam War, and these young guys are going over to an unpopular fight and possible death, and in San Francisco, right, where they're stationed before they ship out to Vietnam, they have kind of a last hurrah, and there's a tradition that's actually deeply cruel to find the ugliest girl in town and bring her to a dance. And so our three characters, Derek, Josh, and I, were these three young guys, and we all find dates. And Derek, who plays Eddie Birdlace, who was played by River Phoenix in the movie, goes and finds Lindsay's character, who is played by Lily Taylor in the movie, and they unexpectedly fall in love, and it gets very complicated when she finds out why she was brought to the party with him. But that was the song reference. And then we go to Vietnam.
It's a ultimately. That's actually a really good synopsis.
That's good, Nick.
Speaking of the movie, though, had any of you seen the movie when you had first heard about the musical? Had you seen it, heard of it before?
Yeah,
I hadn't, but I saw it when I got the audition. I decided to watch it, and it was so good. I loved it.
Yeah.
So good.
It is so good.
And by the way, speaking of Vietnam, that's you?
Oh my gosh!
Right?
That's us in Vietnam.
We did one of our cruises.
We were there.
Just saying.
Wow.
I don't know where those went. Yeah, we were Totes in Vietnam. I love that. Thank you.
5 years ago. Wow.
So fun.
Just for fun.
Just for funsies. And by the way, people are wondering about if Lindsay and I get along. This is the pleasantness we have doing a radio show together. Okay.
We love each other very much, Steve.
I'm a huge fan. All right, so Jimmy, do you want to start? Or am I starting?
No, you start, because you were going to talk to Lindsay about your speaking of your radio show.
Because of course I want to talk. I feel like the Chatterbox led to Dogfight, but now I'm wondering if it led to Wicked. Wait, what did the Chatterbox lead to? I feel like my talk show led to something fun in your career.
Yeah, it was Dogfight.
It was Dogfight. All right, talk about that. Now, was it your Grease Chatterbox or Godspell?
No, it was Godspell, which Nick and I were both in together. And Nick had already gotten this job. You all three had gotten it. And I had not gotten this job. And I auditioned for it and got told, thanks for coming in. And but there were, I think it was like kind of a more general audition. I know like Joe Mantello wasn't there, or some of the other folks weren't there. And Joe Mantello saw me on your Chatterbox show, and he called in and said, get me that girl. And that's how I got an audition with Joe. And that's how
That's awesome.
That's rad.
I didn't know
Yeah.
that either. The extent of that.
It used to play on Broadway World, and he saw it. And I think it's a great message just for actors who are like, you don't get something, you think I'm not right for it. And not that Lindsay fought for it, but it's just good to know, like, if the right person sees you, like, if you think you're right for something, keep trying, man. I mean, what would
Totally.
God. And then, by the way, and then Joe was like, ooh, by the way, would you also star in Wicked? And then he also said, ooh, by the way, would you hang out with me in East Hampton? It just literally kept leveling up to like amazingness.
It was pretty life-changing, I must say. This show for me was like absolutely life-changing in so many ways, but yeah.
And then how do you emotionally deal with, like, I'm trying out for like a role with a girl supposed to not be attractive? I mean, and yet obviously she is, because they literally fall in love with each other. I mean, you have to obviously emotionally know that, but still, how do you sort of psychologically take that?
I don't know. I think I thought Lily Taylor like so beautiful, in it. And I felt like it was so much more about, I love this woman's story, and I felt like it deserved to be seen and heard. And I think, that's what I love about theater, is that it's like, it's messy and it's uncomfortable and it's real, and not everything is beautiful all the time, but we can learn a lot from it. And I think I had to kind of get past myself being this part and look at the story we got to tell every night, which was about all of these really complicated people going through such intense things, and that they all of their stories. And I mean, you can ask the guys the same question. Like, I think there were stories that like existed and needed to be told, and I was really proud to tell that story.
And of course, the unattractive people are really the guys that are doing this evil thing. It's like, those are the actual unattractive people. It's like the meanness of the men. And I know you said is it literally a tradition? This wasn't like created for the movie and the show. Like, it was a tradition for guys going to Vietnam. Was it based in reality?
I don't know.
I think it was.
It sounds like something that would have.
I think it was. I don't know. We need Peter Duchesne here.
Totally.
That's our book writer.
Our amazing book
Shout
writer.
out.
Who did an amazing job adapting it. But I believe it was, because I remember us talking about it, and it was like a soldier tradition. I'm not sure if it was specific to Vietnam or if it was like an ongoing thing, but I think it was.
How horrific.
And Derek, how was it on your side? So of playing that character, I mean, it's so complex. I mean, the story is so touching just from your point of view of your struggles. So talk to us a little bit about that.
No, it's pretty fun. No.
As an actor, yeah, sure.
Derek's always doing dogfights still. Always out there.
I did the regional circuit when it came out.
No one's touching your role.
Buzzing it left and right.
Right.
No, it was difficult. I remember when we did like our first read as a company, and there's just so many awful lines, especially in the first half first act where we're selecting our dates and talking about our dates and Josh and Annalie Ashford had like one of the best scenes in the show where he's trying to convince her to come to the dance with him. And so there were a lot of those scenes where we were just like, ooh, like every couple minutes. And I remember as we got deeper into the rehearsal process, I mean, it helped that we were all such an amazing family. It was such an incredible group of people. And I think we all trusted each other from the beginning. And that was kind of the secret to success when you're dealing with subject matter that is uncomfortable, and that you have to deliver with such sincerity, or it can come off even more offensive. So I think establishing those relationships from the beginning, and then all of the male characters in the show understanding that what their role was, and we made it a point to like bring the girls flowers on occasion and try to be as nice as we could.
I will say, yeah, that's one of the things that I think was the easiest part of doing it, was that these guys, like, they worked overtime to make all of us women in the cast feel beautiful, loved, supported. Every day I walked in, I was like so excited to be with them, and I felt so like taken care of, every step of the way by all three of you, which was just like, I felt so lucky to get to be there and tell that story with them. And they're just the most like amazing guys ever, and kindest, and most like the biggest hearts, which is like, I think for all three of you, I mean, I don't want to speak for you, but like, it was, I'm sure, difficult for you to do these roles and to get inside them and figure out how you could go about doing this 8 times a week, and you did it so beautifully. So,
well, there's something to what you're saying about obviously we've never been in the military, and like we're, if anything, like really feely, emotional, articulate, like East Coast guys, and there's something about like trying to understand why this would even occur that became like a really interesting part. And I think something, Derek, that you were talking about is sort of this idea of like fear. Like fear of death, that there's something so strange, and we're going through it right now with like the troops coming back from Afghanistan, just like actually thinking about what it means to have like legions of numbers of like young people in such a dangerous place. And it's almost like that's what the show is about, is like what fear drives you to do. Wow. And how, like how you try to gain some control back over the world in this like deeply cruel way that's not advisable, but like how love sort of won out in the end. And I think that was like, I remember Joe coming in to like we were in backstage talking about this exact problem, and Joe saying like, just take care of the girls, just remember that like who you are versus who your characters are. And it's like, it kind of in a way made it easier to play because you have an in, through that really human feeling of like, oh God, what would I do if I was 17 and trying to find some sense of ground. Like, it's crazy to imagine this, but if these are the givens, there's a way to reach them.
We have this clip of I think this was the musical came out in the summer of 2012, right? At Second Stage is when you did it, so 9 years ago. And then I guess the following year, did you do a concert at Joe's Pub? Is that what you?
It was for the album release.
Album release. That's what it was. So I have this clip of Lindsay, you and Derek. That's such a great setup. It's a great song because Derek, it's like, Eddie is it's the manipulating song. We're trying to get her to come to a party, and it's just a little clip of it. I'm going to play it for
Lindsay,
people that don't know it. Yeah, go ahead.
Lindsay, just James and I were just obsessed with your reactions. Like, they're so real, and they're also so heartbreaking because like he keeps luring you in. And anyway, James and I were just completely obsessed with your reactions.
Yeah, Seth was like, well, don't you want to have the clip? There's so many on Broadway.com that are like of the recording session. I'm like, no, it's like, I want it, like, this is as close as you can get to the actual, musical of you guys doing it. So,
look, you can't miss this party. Meet my friends, and when it ends, Rose, I'll race you right home. The night will break like a bite. Came over to just me and you. Candles, wine, handed wine.
To do it because I can't tell on my end if it's working or not.
Yeah, David, you do it.
So David, you Dude, I'll tell you. So you hit it. I put them in order, the clips. Guys want to be on the safe side since our Wi-Fi stinks. All right, David, you got it.
Come to a party with me. Look, you can't miss this party. Meet my friends, and when it ends, Rose, I'll race you right home. The night will break like a bite. Table for two, just me and you. Candles, wine, hands in wine.
Rose, it's closing time now. Better run along.
You'll miss out on one hell of a time. Should be one rousing party. Well, I'm glad we met. I gotta get Rose, but gosh, you seem swell. Still, it's a shame. I thought if you came, who knows? Maybe we could've. Have a good night now.
Hey, wait! I'm going with you, okay? Just let me run upstairs and change.
Okay.
Okay!
What a gem! What a gem! What a pick and a pinch! What a girl for this party! You waltz her in, your gentleman once you twirl her around. She'll be a smash, story some cash. Off to a party with you.
Man,
That's awesome.
that was such a sweet scene.
Yeah,
It's a great tune, man.
seriously. I'm
Really
gonna
are.
play this album when I get off this.
Um,
I have.
So young.
Guys, I'm going straight to the speaker after this. Let's go.
Dude.
we've got some donations in. So who wants to read? You can go up. David put 3 down already, or 3 up in the private chat. Anyone wants to take the lead, take it, and then we'll maybe we'll get some live singing after this.
I'll do one.
Okay.
Love Dogfight. Still regret not jumping on a plane to see the great OG cast off Broadway. Had to make do with the behind-the-scenes making of videos until I was able to see a couple local productions here in the San Francisco Bay Area. Thank you all. That's Carol in San Francisco, and she donated $100. Thank you, Carol.
Yay.
Awesome. More?
I could go.
Anyone? You go ahead.
Okay. I initially hated the plot line of the movie and thus the musical, but was so touched by both in the end. Lily and Lindsay made me cry. Such talent. Brava. Mark from Massachusetts, $50. Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
We love Mark.
Glad we won you over.
Oh,
Okay.
Lindsay, you know what? You should read the next one.
Ooh.
Okay. Congrats on 18 months of incredible shows, Seth, James, Dr. LaPook, and the rest of the team. I've been watching since the beginning, and I'm so grateful for all of you keeping us sane this year and doing so much for everyone in the entertainment industry. And as a student of Lindsay's and a huge Dogfight fan, tonight brings me so much joy. Love, Jackie Leibowitz, and who donated $36. Thanks, Jackie.
Let's go,
So
Jackie.
sweet. That's awesome.
Double high.
Lindsay, this is reminding me, this is one of the questions I was going to ask you, because I know how much you love teaching. You love your students. Have you ever had a student who sung one of your songs from Dogfight and like, maybe you were like, they're playing into the pathos, perhaps, which is the opposite of what you do, which is one of the things I love about your performing. What do you tell the student who comes in singing one of your songs from Dogfight?
I think that this character is like someone that like everyone feels connected to, because I think everyone has been made to feel less than or had like a moment of, total despair over not feeling like they are good enough to hang in whatever context. And I feel like, so I think that's why a lot of people love to sing the material. And I just always kind of like remind them that, we want to watch someone strong fight this and win, you know, and maybe at the end, like you might not win, but we want to see you fight it. And we want to root for someone who wants to root for themselves. And so, you know, we just talk a lot about that and to try and find, you know, to try and fight the urge to want to, you know, come in and cry for a few minutes, which we all would love to do. But I don't know that everyone wants to watch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah,
Hey,
but people do this material all the time, not just the Rose material, either the boys material too. It's like these songs are sung all the time, which is really fun.
I want to show some of the boys. This is you guys in the recording session. You guys sound amazing. Josh, I sort of feel like you're looking at your music the whole time. I'm like, didn't you know it?
What a troll! In Josh's defense, we actually recorded this album like 6 months after we closed. It was delayed.
That's fair. Yeah. Come on.
But Josh is laser focused in the booth, man. Laser focus.
He's the guy you want in the booth at a moment like that.
Dude, look. We can talk about this frankly. It's been 9 years. You just informed me.
Right.
And look, we're sitting on this call with some talented musicians: Blademeyer, Klena, Mendez, and Halpin, Stephen Booth, F. Michael Haney. When I was sitting in that room with those boys, let me tell you this right now, okay? It would either be Benj or Justin, and they'd walk up to the piano, and they'd be like, oh, and then you hear Blademeyer find his, Derek find his, all the boys find theirs, and then they'd be like, Josh, you're here. Be like, thank you. And then they'd sing the song, and we'd do it, and then I'd see Justin be like, Josh, you're here. Be like, thank you, Justin. That's my guy. You see? So as long as we faked everybody out for that whole run set, I think we're all right. Funny story. We got together. What was that? When did we sing that song at the benefit? Where we all sat in a room backstage and thought that we were going to pull this together in half an hour. And we all had
it was like a second stage gala or something, right?
Yeah.
Woo, we laughed. We had a good time putting that together. We had a good time.
Oh my God.
David, can you show the clip? Everyone's sounding amazing, and Josh really focusing. Hit it.
Making it count, taking that one shot we got. You just don't know where the night might go. Here's to JFK and the USA. Some kind of time, take what we own. With a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, your boys are grown. Some kind of time, cut all our strings. We are kings for an evening. What do you say to some kind of time? No, I don't mind, I gotta go find a leader behind us. Gonna be having some kind of time.
Josh, you're here. Josh.
Josh, so into the music.
Before we would walk out nightly, a funny prank again, they decide to give me that first some kind of time, whatever the hell that was.
In the clear.
Thank Christ for my homie Blademeyer, because we walk out together and we'd split stage and he'd be next to me and we'd go, and I trust Nick with my life, bro.
Dude, same back at you.
And we split ways. And the rest of the way,
love you, man. Here's the thing, Josh has an incredible voice, and like I think one of the things that was, I mean, listening to those guys, like it was like
that score was so hard, and everybody was killing it. I mean, Adam and Steve were like the ringers, singing G sharps or A's in every song,
like C's in ticker tape.
Yeah,
like crazy high.
Who wrote the score, by the way? We haven't said
I was going to say, those gentlemen need to be mentioned.
Not sure. Don't remember.
Something.
Flaherty and...
they were one-show wonders.
Yeah, one-show wonders.
Maybe one day.
They were.
This is it.
Yeah.
Pasek and Paul.
She has a little voice. Pasek and Paul. It was pre-Dear Evan Hansen. And by the way, Lindsay, would you have like taken the show even if the music wasn't great? Like, or did you hear the music and you're like, oh my God, I've got to do the show?
No, I loved the story and I loved the book. I loved the scenes. I loved everything about it. I mean, the songs were like the hardest part for me to do. They were so hard. I had a really hard time with the score. I think, I don't want to speak for all of you, but it was a hard score for all of us. Like,
dude, Lindsay, I remember you calling me before your final callback, maybe. And you were like, what do I sing? Like, what is it? Because maybe they only gave you like one song. I forget what the context was. I remember sitting on the hill of like my childhood house and talking to you and being like, it's like Joni Mitchell, like sing something like that. And I feel like you?
I did. I sang River. Yeah.
And that is like, I feel like the thing, everyone knew your voice in that brassy, jazzy, like killing it, you know. Yeah, and so the fact that they could find out that you did that other thing was such a cool.
But I didn't do it. Oh wow! I didn't do it very well, and I had to work so hard to get it. And it's an elusive sound. It's just a hard. It's like all like right in the mix voice, like the entire score. It's like.
Was Wicked easier or harder?
Easier.
Wow. So crazy.
Yeah, it's so gentle, the sound, and it's hard to make gentle sound. It's easy to like throw stuff out there. But I had all the gentle stuff, and these guys were just like barking their faces off all the time. It was insane.
We should do donations and then do a song because Tammy donated $50. And thanks everybody. Elise says Dogfight, such a wonderful show and cast. She thanks us for being wonderful entertainment. She's never missed a show. Thank you, Elise. And how about Josh? Why don't you read the next one from Rosemary? Rosemary.
Thanks to Seth and James for a year and a half of entertainment and information. Happy birthday, Dr. LaPook. Rosemary. Yeah, $50 from Rosemary.
Yes, Queen. And Derek, why don't you read the Cheryl one, and then maybe that'll convince you to sing something for us.
Me? Okay. I had to donate tonight in honor of Dr. LaPook. I don't believe anything about COVID unless I hear it from him. I don't know what we would have done the past 17 months without him. Thank you, Cheryl from PA, $50. Thank you, Cheryl.
Absolutely. Oh, and we want to again remind everyone, if you tuned in a little bit late, the Angie Torres Charitable Trust they're matching everything. Thank you, David. Donations up to $2,500. Let's get that $2,500 so that tonight we make $5,000 for the Actors Fund.
Yes, in honor of Lindsay mixing. Okay, so Dare, that was hard right here. Dare, what are you going to sing and why are you going to sing it?
But what was that? Sorry, I was disconnecting. Am I still echoing or am I good?
I was saying, what are you singing and why are you singing it?
Okay, so I'm going to sing Beautiful City from Godspell. A couple reasons why. A couple people on this show, I met Lindsay for the first time after a performance of Godspell, right? Was it after a performance that we got dinner together? Or I didn't meet her, but that was like the first time.
Yes, R.I.P. Talia.
Yes, yes. So Lindsay and I grabbed a meal after that show, and of course Nick was in this production, and also just kind of after the year that we've had as we kind of come together. I love this song because it kind of embraces community, and that's why we love what we do, and why theater is so special, and why it will be forever lasting is because the community that we have built, and that's going to bring Broadway back and make New York bigger and better than ever. So, yeah, that's why I chose to sing the song.
Right.
Out of the ruins and rubble, out of the smoke, out of our night of struggle, can we see a ray of hope from pale thin ray, reaching for the day. We can build a beautiful city, yes we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men. We may not reach the ending, but we can start. Slowly but truly mending, brick by brick, heart by heart. Now, maybe now, we start learning how we can build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but we can build a city of men. When your trust is all but shattered, when your faith is all but killed, you can give up bitter and battered, or you can slowly start to build a beautiful city. Yes, we can. Yes, we can. We can build a beautiful city, not a city of angels, but finally a city of men. A city of men. And then a long outro.
Yay, Derek!
Man,
So beautiful.
just out here killing it on a Zoom on a incredible shit. Jesus.
That takes me back.
Good job, bro. Good job.
Yeah, man.
Bro. No. Good job, Tyler.
So pretty.
Yeah.
Can we contrast that, Josh? I don't even remember, and it was so many years ago. But can you please tell me that it was an audition story for a commercial that I was obsessing about? You told me 10 years ago it was maybe you were throwing a ball. I can't remember.
We were talking about a Sprite commercial audition that they were throwing fruit at us, and we had to stand in a room. And I remember why I was telling you this, because this a similar story that we all have about all our training being applied to nothing at a certain time in our lives. And yeah, there was fruit being thrown at us, and they were telling us very seriously to be dodging said fruit. And I remember the casting director being very hard on me about my dodging, like not committed, not doing it, and me getting a little peeved about my choices, and remembering the Sprite commercial, Seth. Yeah, that commercial. Just like walking
Getting
out of there
peeved about your choices.
How did that go so badly? Like I was dodging the oranges and the bananas. What did I do wrong? That's what you were talking about, Seth.
Did you get it?
I did not get it. Ask these guys. Okay. Ask these guys about the quick change day. Okay. Never in my life had I ever learned that my castmates could quick change so quickly on stage. They all got out of uniform into civilian clothes with 2 tries, okay? And I remember this day because we tried this quick change 8, 9, 10 times, to the point where, like, I remember Joe laughing at me in the theater, being like, "Josh, pal, like either don't do the buttons or just pull it on faster. Like the light's not even on you, Josh. Derek is singing. Just take your clothes off faster and put them on faster." And I was like, "Well, Joe, maybe the clothes should be easier, man. Maybe you can make them bigger for me, Joe. Come on, bro." And we were just like, "All right, let's just try the quick change one more time." Thank Christ, the angels from Angels in the Outfield came and helped me. We got the quick change, and it stayed in the show. Angels and everyone knows that before that quick change happened every night, I'm like, "Oh God, Jesus Christ! Oh God, Jesus!"
It's almost like it was oranges and lemons being thrown at you.
Every night, Nick.
Wow!
I just remember
Joshy.
I remember all of us like making the change and like running up the stairs, and Josh just standing there like with his pants down, being like, he just stopped. He was like, "Are we gonna get this?"
Why
No
is that a
offense.
skill set? Like, what's the hard part?
Oh my God.
These guys killed it. I'm forever gonna blame it on them because they were like, ding, pants on, ding, ding, singing, matching, remembering notes. Okay, that shit's hard. All right, that shit's hard.
Derek, no offense.
Josh, though, I'll interject here because we're throwing Josh under the bus, but I actually got to read with Lindsay and Josh in the auditions because I got cast like the day or two before, and I remember both their auditions so vividly. They were both incredible, but they gave me the scene that Josh was coming in to read as Bolin, and I was going to play Birdlace in the scene, and I hadn't seen the scene before, and I was like, "Okay, yeah, I'll read this." I think Josh comes like steamrolling into the room, like took charge immediately when he walked in and was like, "What's up, bro? Let's go." And then like just started the scene, and I was like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." And I will never forget that moment because, dude, that taught me so much about how to like take a bull by the horns, like take hold of a room. And you like came into that room, you did your scene, you knocked it out, and you're like, "You guys need anything more?" And they're like, "No, that was great." And I was just standing there with my paper in my hand, like, "Did I screw it up?" And then you walked out of the room, and they were all like, "Whoa, that was." I mean, that was it, right? It was just amazing. So I will never forget that. I'll never forget the time I got to read with Lindsay. You guys are powerhouses.
Thanks, homie. Thanks for saying that. That's cool. That's cool.
I hate to keep focusing on this, but Josh, I just researched.
Oh no.
I found an old Playboy column, and it's interesting how the victim becomes the perpetrator because basically in Lysistrata Jones, there were basketballs that would go into the audience. And I wrote, Josh said that most of the time when a basketball came in someone in the audience, they would catch it. But some people in the audience would forget basic life skills, and they would just literally stare at the ball in horror as it approached and eventually hit them. After the show, Josh would see people who got hit and say, "I'm sorry," followed by a muttered, "But you're an idiot."
Big league. It's big league stuff.
Now what?
Whenever that interview was, they caught me real comfortable. Okay, they caught me.
It was me. I was transcribing my own interview.
They caught me real comfortable.
Okay.
Whoever that was a real close friend of mine because they got me. Dude, that's funny. Oh, that is funny. I do. Now that you're talking about that, I do remember balls going out to the audience and us being like, "Hey." But it was like seeing your teacher at the supermarket. They did it. It broke the eighth wall. You know, it was like further beyond anything they could have comprehended that we stopped mid-show to be like, "Yeah, no, give me that. I need it. No, I need the prop. We don't have extra backstage." And I remember that was a conversation. We were like, "Yo, do you think we should get like 4 or 5 extra?" We're like, "No, it'll be fun to throw them back on the stage." And we're like, "Okay, fair enough. You know, fair enough."
Hey, Seth. Speaking of comedy, do you want to? One of the things that we all have in common, and Lindsay, you'll appreciate this. The last couple of days, Seth was in Provincetown, and I was like doing the last bit of packing. I mean, we still have our house, but I was like packing. What do you think I watched to kind of help me get through it? It's something that you would have watched.
I Love Lucy.
Yes, ma'am. Exactly. I watched the European episodes while I was busy packing because it just kind of helped me get through the stress.
So good.
So I found this moment from the show. Is that why?
Yeah. Yes,
I found this moment from the show, which I was thinking, Lindsay, you must have loved playing when you're trying to get into the restaurant because it's very Lucy and Ethel when you're pretending to be married. Was that like your dream come true to like have to play like a scheme?
I think like this show was like so dramatic that like anytime I could find comedy, I would like stick it in and Joe would be like, calm down, Mendez. Like I'd always be like, where can I armpit fart? Because I've just been coming from Godspell where like Nick and I were like literal clowns on stage. Just, yeah. So I did. I loved that scene very, very much.
Let's watch it. David, would you push the Lucy clip?
I'm afraid without a jacket, it's just not possible. I'm a United States Marine. Good enough to protect you, but ain't good enough to teach your child that. I ask you to lower your voice. Not a fucking chance!
I'm real sorry about that, sir, and you don't have to make any exceptions for us. It's just, you see, it's our wedding night. Oh, well, I know. Look at me. Well, no, we don't have money for a dress you only wear once. It's my fault, because I wanted this night to be just perfect. A beautiful meal like the kind you make here. The two of us. The three of us. There I go again. I promised myself no tears tonight. I'm sorry.
Yes.
So fun.
I miss that show. So good.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that was a blast. I mean, we had such a good time, and I have to say, like, having Joe like lead us through the show was like it was monumental for me. I learned so much as an actor from him. I think we all did. He just was he handled all of the show with like such care. A show that like was, that's my crying baby. I have a baby. She's screaming right now.
I love it.
But yeah, he just handled it with such beauty and care, and
How do you think you changed as an actor from when you began to the end? Like, what do you think was an actual change in your skill set?
I mean, I think one of the big things for me was like he really let us like he gave us the space and time to like find things and not feel like we had to ever be finished. That's something that I learned. I always wanted to like get it right, and I think Joe taught me like there's no right, that it will. And that bothered me so much as like a perfectionist. I just wanted him to be like, yes, Lindsay, that's it. And he never did. He would always be like, good, a couple things. And I was like, damn it. And finally he was like, Lindsay, it's never going to be right. It's going to keep changing and growing and getting deeper, and you're going to have new thoughts. And like, that's what Night to Night is about. And that really, that was my lesson from him. I don't know if you guys have any, but.
Yeah, I was thinking it, Derek, when you were talking about the story of your guys' 3 audition, that like doing shows in New York can often be like eye-opening in a different way, and that like everybody in the room is like really ambitious and like wants to like move their careers forward. And that's the energy when you're on stage, like who's in the audience that night, and like, oh, you took my laugh, or any of that kind of like uglier side of show business. And I felt like this show specifically was like a locked in 100% on stage, everybody trying to tell the story really well. And that was Joe top down. And also it was you guys, and it was just everybody in the building. Like there was just like a team sport mentality about like, okay, this show is really delicate, and if we don't walk this line really well, then it's going to tip into, wrong directions. And so the focus and the commitment to being there for each other, I think, was really special, and it was easier. And I think the show became more because of it. It just sort of wasn't self-conscious on our part. And I recognize that now, having gone on to other things where I've felt that, you know, it's just like, it's rare when it happens.
Totally. Very well said.
I just remember always this feeling of like, all of us feeling lucky to be there. And I think that starts with Joe. I mean, like, Take Me Out is one of the reasons why I'm an actor today.
Yeah.
So that just goes back for me. All of us have our stories. I mean, I'd worked with Blaymire before, and that kid's one of the best to me in the world. Lindsay I'd known for years because I'm good buddies with her little brother, and she's one of the best in the world. Klenna wasn't legend before we met him. Be like, you heard about this kid from California, this baseball player, this just alien all of a sudden? Dude just showed up and he's gonna be the lead of the show. Be like, yeah, he's a badass. Let's get busy. All of this, it was all of us lucky to be here. So it was, and come on, we caught Justin and Benj then. We caught those boys there, just kind of percolating with Joe, with Peter. It was this thing where Anna Lee, who I'm sad she's not here tonight, the rest of the cast, but you know what I'm saying? It's like all these legends, man. So I'll say it for us. I love it when people are like, yo, I saw that Dogfight show. Be like, oh yeah? Be like, I hope in 10 years, like, yo, you saw Dogfight at Second Stage? I heard that was badass. Be like, yeah, it was. I heard that shit was badass too. It's gonna live in legend forever. Forever, it'll live in legend. You know?
Yeah. Deirdre Friel, man. Deirdre Friel's on Apple's Physical. Like, everybody in that room was
Yeah.
Yeah.
Becca, Deirdre.
Such a great group.
Come on.
F.
Oh my God.
Was there room backstage to watch other people as they were singing, or like how was there was no room, right?
There's no room for anything.
Yeah, we would listen though. There was you know, there wasn't, but I don't know. I feel like I'm being cheesy. I love listening to Lindsay backstage, man. Like, you know, like, because she would start our show off and she would be behind that scrim. I'm remembering the shows we're talking about, just so you guys know, and it's tripping me out, and I'm having the best time reminiscing. Lindsay would be like behind the scrim, and dude, like, just like Nick said earlier, there's nobody like her, man. So you just you just heard her go, and it kind of all got us like in motion. And I remember the boys always kind of just like backstage, like holding hands or together, and Derek carried the weight of that beast of a sore on his shoulders at the end of the show every night. And I remember this kid being an athlete going through that show and figuring it out as he went, and just setting us at this tone. So we have Lindsay and Derek, and the rest of us were just there to be a supporting cast that couldn't have been happier to be there, man. So
no one ever missed a performance either.
Yeah.
No, although I got really close.
Really close.
I was coming right out of Godspell and was so shredded, and then we got into the show, and there was one note that I think now Derek and Josh will be remembering this moment as I say it, which is the goddamn hero moment when I would have to go backstage. So loud did I warm up backstage before I walked back out to sing "I'm a goddamn hero." And every night I would come off stage at the end of the show, and someone would go like, "Yeah, Nick, that was a little bing. You warm up well for that high note there." Like, fully scared out of my mind. And I think actually that's part of, to add into Josh's compliment, I think that's part of it. It was the fear of like singing it well and doing it well every night also like rose you to the occasion. Like, you were going to get it done. I was going to warm up behind a flat in order to not fuck up the flow of the show. You know, it was like, the show was all.
Yeah.
But to piggyback that, everybody was delivering. Like, everybody was always on point. So you felt like the extra obligation and that extra pride in giving your show like 110% every night, because you had to fall in line with all these amazing performances happening around you. It was an embarrassment of riches.
Mandy.
So it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seth,
Hold on,
we
John,
can
they can
hear
hear
you.
you.
Sad.
Can't hear you.
And that's why I decided. Okay, so I have two things to say. Josh, everyone thinks you're hilarious, and we have game nights, and now this is quote unquote trending. #, Josh for game nights.
I'll be there. Let's go.
We're
Shoot me
booking
a
you.
text. I'll be there.
We will book you. Second of all, Derek, we're getting more donations. Can you read the last donation we just got in the private chat, please?
Yes. So happy to donate in gratitude of Derek's singing Beautiful City. Thank you. As someone who has lost her home and all her possessions twice to fire, this song is so meaningful and beautiful. It has such poignance for the survivors of Hurricane Ida and the global fires right now. Thank you, Seth, James, and crew for building this beautiful city, Stars in the House. You have helped us survive the hurricane of COVID with grace, love, and laughter. So honored to be here from day one, and lots of love from Andy O'Connor.
Oh my God. And by the way, we are now up to $1,260.
Amazing.
Great.
Speaking of Hurricane Ida, okay, Seth, you've been in Andrew's apartment. I literally feel the wind, the remnants of Hurricane Ida are coming up. I almost feel like these windows are going to bust in. You heard up here, we're on the ground floor. The lightning that I keep seeing out of the corner of my eye, Lindsay Mendez, you would have already ended the show. I feel like I mean, you can't see it, but it's just like if I keep it here long enough, you'll see lightning. It's insane. So if I'm distracted, I'm trying to not get killed.
Your mom texted me, the lights have been blinking. I pray they're not going out soon.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
She's upstate.
Bad. She's at our house where we would have been. You know what? If I had been in the show, if Joe Mantello had cast me, the song that I think I would have loved hearing backstage would have been Pretty Funny. Because it's can you talk about that a little bit, Lindsay? Because I know that has to be a really popular song that people sing. And how you as an actress approach it, because you're so brilliant in it.
Joe never let me rehearse it. He never let me rehearse it. I don't know if you guys remember that. We would always skip it.
Wow.
And then I think I didn't get to do it till I think I walked through it with him, and then he was like, okay, and then he never would let me do it, and I didn't get to really do it until we were running the show. He would, if we weren't running the show, he wouldn't let me do it because he was like, you have to earn that. And he wanted me to feel the ride of the show in order to earn it. Otherwise,
you didn't beat out every tear and look and sad face like I would do.
Like you do? You mean every morning in your bathroom? Yeah. No, I didn't.
Just asking.
David, we have a little clip of it. Can you play it? This is a
Shut the light off, turn the bed down. No more crying, don't you dare. You'll wake up sometime tomorrow and forget to even care. Is it funny?
So good, man.
I think that's my fave.
Yeah.
I do.
I mean, that's a perfect lyric.
It's
That
great.
last
So
two
good.
words, that he built to that, Benj.
So good.
And shout out to Benj. And
Yeah.
and you crushed it, Linz. But
Thanks.
it's really tough.
They wanted to be here, but because you guys started their careers, they're literally doing a movie right now, so they couldn't be here tonight. Just FYI.
Sorry.
And speaking of donations, Helene and the Stars in the House Court family who are on Facebook and haven't joined our group, please look up Stars in the House Court Family Chat and answer the question. They're trying to get a group donation together. So just look at what that says because they're doing a big group at the same time. I just wanted to give you guys a heads up.
I love it. Josh and Nick, I can imagine what Lindsay's reactions were from fans, but did you ever have people who watched the show who really associated you with those guys and like got like a visceral bad reaction? Or is it because of what happened to your characters that they sort of like, they kind of gave you a pass? I'm just curious if you ever had any sort of any reactions from people, or everyone understood you were just actors.
I mean, I've never had a bad one. In fact, actually a good one. Oh. Very weird. This is weird.
Okay.
So I live in Brooklyn, and at the corner of our street is a coffee shop. And I walk in, and the barista like looks at me weird under my mask. And I like, you know, first couple times no one said anything. And eventually he was like, "Are you Bernstein?" And I was like, "Well, no, but yes." And he was like, "I played Bernstein in a San Francisco production, like however." And we got to talking, super nice kid. Turns out he's Billy Joe Armstrong's nephew. Oh. And he got into this business because of Dogfight. And like basically like he had seen like American Idiot happen, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I got to learn about this. Like this is cool." And he saw like some bootleg of Dogfight, which is its own conversation, right? About like bootlegs are bad, except when they totally like make kids fall in love with theater and do what happened to this kid. And so that was like a good story of like, oh wow,
I love that.
It's awesome. I remember it was pretty common. We'd leave the theater and be walking out and get a couple, you know, you should treat them better next time. You know?
Yeah, you're right.
And you'd be like, of course, ma'am, of course I will, you know, and you kind of, I always thought of myself like a pro wrestler then, you know, I'd come out and like be in character, you know, like stuff around and like, they'd like pat me on the back. But no, I was thinking about it earlier. We were talking about that, you know, we laugh about it now, but that was part of what brought us all together, was that feeling, man. Like we leave the theater sometimes with that, like, oh, you know, that weight. Yeah. Like we just spent 3 hours telling our friends bad things, you know, like, and it just kind of stays with you. And so we leave the theater, and it was always the generation above us teaching us how to be good young men after the show, you know.
It's true.
For sure.
It's true.
For sure.
Hey, Seth, I'm afraid that these windows are going to come barreling in, and I actually feel like there might be water leaking, and I need to go tell Andrea. I know, right? So we want to remind everyone about the Angie Torres Charitable Trust and thank them. You have until midnight Eastern to get those donations in, because I know a lot of people don't watch the show live, but there is still time. And so, Seth, we have one more clip, but should we go to the other live singing? What do you want to do? Or do you have some more questions?
Just want to make sure the last clip is. I think we should end with the live singing. So let's get the donations going. I think we should show the clip. And Nick, I love that when you're recognized, it's because you changed someone's life. And when someone recognizes me, they go, "Actually, I'm just kidding. I don't know who you are." That's
so hurtful. You don't know all the lives you've changed, Seth. They just don't see you at the grocery store, you know?
I want to talk about it. James, why don't you set up the clip that you picked?
Well, okay. Well, Derek, let me ask you about First Date last night, because I love that it's at the beginning of the second act, right? I mean, it's such a beautiful like it's really about second chances, is why I love it. But I don't know. Tell us a little bit. Tell us something. The people that are watching that love Dogfight that maybe they don't know about that song or rehearsal process, or maybe how the song changed from when you first got it.
I think that's actually one of the songs that hardly changed at all, if I'm not mistaken. I think that song was almost in its original form, like or its final form when we started. It was just so beautifully written. I remember when we rehearsed the song, Joe didn't want us to be like walking in place, right, in the theater. So like in the rehearsal room, Lindsay and I would literally walk around the space singing the song, just to keep the continuity going. And Joe would just like kind of follow us and like observe from afar. And it was like the coolest experience. And this was always one of my favorite sequences in the show from Eddie's like, apology and asking for forgiveness and for a second chance through First Date Last Night into the dinner sequence. Like, I think that is the sequence that we were able to really gain momentum coming out of intermission. And it showed each one of their insecurities on such a raw, beautiful level. And it was just so human. So it was definitely one of my favorite sequences to do every night, and such an iconic song and sing. And when you get to actually like sing and walk on a turntable, that was like the coolest thing too. So I geeked out over it every night. It was cool.
All right, David, hit it. We have a little bit of a clip.
It was off Broadway, okay? It was a big deal.
Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Blank slate, blank stare. Yeah, you made her cry, and why do you care? What took hold? Look at her, she looks so cold. And we go don't know why I decided to go. Don't know why I decided to come.
Pretty.
Just those vowels, you guys. Like, you sound like one voice.
It's getting me so high.
We worked so hard on that.
Hey, I'm gonna, Seth. I think you're gonna need to wrap up the show because literally I just told Andrea during the clip that we're gonna need to get towels because it ain't pretty here. So I'm gonna bid you all.
Hi,
there you
James.
go. See? All right, I'm gonna go. I love you all. It was amazing to see all of you, and thank you everyone who donated. Seth, I'll see you at home. Bye.
Be careful. Oh yeah, that canoe. It's perfect. What goes around comes around. All right, I guess in conclusion, I would love to just hear Josh's harmony lines. Go.
Yeah.
What about some apple pies and chili fries?
Chili fries.
Yeah.
Salad. Barry won. All right, so Lindsay, we'll get some donations if we hear some nice singing. So I know you don't have a turntable, but can you possibly haul out a song nonetheless?
Yes, I love that you always ask me to haul one out. Yes, sure.
That's what it's like.
This is a song from DOGFIGHT itself. It's a song that comes in the second act after Rose and Eddie have been out on their date and their second date of the one evening, and
positive version.
More successful.
The more successful date, yes. And she sings this little ditty to him, and I'm gonna give it a go myself.
Haul it out.
Yeah.
Hopefully the speaker works. Can you hear that? Frills. An awkward girl with her guitar, keeping to herself, Friday nights alone, with the records on her shelf, a waitress pouring ginger ale and Coke, someone you ask out as a joke. Well, I've been that girl who fades away, accepting what I've got, stuck in what I am and everything I'm not. I've only seen this tiny world I'm in, where I can only be what I've been. See a world, beautiful and strange, spinning off somewhere, saying meet me there. Look, how fast it runs away, singing follow close and reach for me. See that you've got so much more to be before it's over. Before it's over. I can't go write another song I'm too afraid to play or dream how things could change, but only see what's in my way. Can't go back to what I was before, now that I can see so much more. See a world beautiful and strange on a one-way track, and it won't come back. Look how fast it runs away, singing follow close and reach for me. See that you've got so much more to be before it's over. I never even knew a world was waiting. Somehow something awful made that world appear. Maybe this sounds crazy, but I'm happy that it happened. Happy that I came. Happy that I'm here. I can see a world beautiful and strange. Can you see it too? It's so close, don't let it get away. There's so much to do before it's over.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Hell yeah.
You know, it's a good thing you don't sing anymore, Lindsay.
Well,
I know. For a TV star, you really have a nice voice.
Listen,
It's got some nice tone.
we'll see. This was a one-off.
Mm.
Thank you.
Such a headache. All right. In conclusion, you all still got it.
Thank you, Seth.
Linz, so we don't know TV's coming or Broadway's coming. We don't know what's coming next.
We don't know. I want Broadway to continue to open safely. That's just my big hope right now. For all of our friends and everyone, we just want that to go down. So that's what I'm rooting for.
And Nick, I just had you on my radio show because you wrote that musical with Ethan Slater, which is out. What's the name again?
Edge of the World.
With Norbert Leo Butts singing Up a Storm, and I
Yeah.
say bravo.
Yeah.
So
That
good.
music's awesome.
Thanks, dude.
Josh,
Thanks.
Josh, you are the choir master at the Philharmonic Chorus. You're in charge
Seth!
Wait, what are you doing, Josh? What can we see you in?
That is it. Come to the concert. No, other two just dropped last week. That's really cool with a bunch of our homies, and I'm having the time of my life on it. I love them to death, so that's good.
Still got it. And Derek, you're starring in a little off Broadway Black Box Theater, Jagged Little Pill. Yes. When is that? Is that resuming pre-Tony Awards?
No, we start rehearsal right after the Tonys, and our second opening date is October 21st.
So exciting.
And speaking of, Derek is also nominated for a Tony Award. No big deal.
Yo, let's go.
Yes.
Go.
Derek, who are you wearing?
Who am I wearing? I don't know yet. I don't know. That's so stressful.
Target?
No, probably Zara.
Yeah.
Get back to me. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being so lovely. I'm gonna go see if James is swimming home, and hashtag Josh for game night. So we'll talk soon.
Thank you all so much for donating.
Awesome.
Thanks for donating.
So
everybody.
awesome.
And
So cool.
thank you again, Angie Torres Charitable Trust. And tomorrow, the Jennas from Waitress, Nicolette Robinson, Shoshana Bean, Betsy Wolf, and Jesse Mueller. And again, matching donations. So I'll see you all tomorrow. Thanks for helping the Actors Fund. Bye, everyone.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
back to me.